Right guys, welcome to the first really sunny day of 2022. I've got a teeny tiny smoker, I've got a gigantic pork shoulder. Oh, beautiful. So I'll show you guys how we're going to get this butchered down and let's get it on the pit.
Yes!
Ooh, Christmas, look at that.
So we've got this lovely big pork shoulder. Now, obviously, it had a leg at one point, but now it doesn't. We flip it over. So basically what we're looking at here is you've got the brisket bone, which runs down here, the beginning of the ribs. Now this would have led off into the pork belly. Now this shoulder joint that we're left with, we've still got this shoulder bone in. We're going to cook this bone in because that's nature's thermometer. You'll see that down the line. All I'm going to do is just take back all of this gack, all of this red stuff, any bones and connective tissue, take off the skin and get it smoked. Now, you could smoke these as ribs, but they're a little bit thin. There's not a lot going on there, so I'm going to use these to make a soup base. So this will go in my freezer. Nice. Now I'm just taking off these bits of red where we've got old coagulated blood, because it won't taste bad, but it won't taste good. Pockets where we've got old blood vessels, they can come up too. You're not going to get them all, so don't lose your mind over it. This bit here, same again, this can all come off. Remove the skin, leave the fat. It's easier said than done, bloody hell. So it's important that I try and leave as much fat intact as possible, because that fat is going to be delicious when it renders down. And now all I'm going to do to get this ready for the fire is I'm going to score it roughly. Doesn't need to be pretty, doesn't need to be accurate. This is just going to help the fat on the top render, allow maximum smoke penetration. Tasty, tasty backyard barbecue pulled pork. Oh yes. So, today's injection is going to be apple juice. Real apple juice, not from concentrate. And maple syrup. It's got to be the real stuff. I've tried it with the fake stuff and it doesn't work. Gotta be the real stuff. We'll stir. And we fill this sucker up with juice. So I've got black pepper here, a whole bunch of it that I got my pal to grind for us because I'm too lazy to do it myself. Gonna do 6 parts pepper to 1 part salt. Pork needs quite a bit of salt just because there's not a lot of flavour in there. And then paprika. This is mostly for colour and a bit of spice when we mix it all in. Give this a little wangle around, see how it's looking. Smashing, looks like a pork rub to me. Slather today, going to be using just a bit of Sriracha. This is just so it sticks. Underside too. Right, and then we get rubbed and try not to make a mess. So I'm going heavy on this. I want this to build up a really big, robust bark because we're going to be pulling this all down and mixing it all together. Pork doesn't really taste like much on its own, so we're going to give it as much help as we can. Making sure that we're getting all the areas on it, all the little nooks and crannies, making sure we're getting it in between all the gaps where we cut on this fat, all the sides. Beautiful, let's get this on the pit. The first half an hour of getting it just running steady is always the tricky time until you kind of just get into the rhythm of like rolling with how your fires burn. How are we looking in here? It's too hot. Let's have a looking in there. Just need a mountain of like teeny tiny pieces and then just babysit the fire all night.
Target! Target!
Oh no.
So here we go. just fits just in the smoker, a full pork shoulder in the world's smallest smoker. Just making sure that it's all together. I don't want anything pressing against any of the metal, and I don't want any of the thin bits pulled out too thin, not too close to the fire. Heck yeah. Let's get it closed up, and then we'll be cooked and ready to eat in about 18 hours. Beautiful. Lush. What did I want to talk about? So, there's a lot of smokers on the scene these days, and it's starting to get a bit more popular in the UK, which is great. But there's this weird misconception that you need a really expensive smoker to get started. So you look at like the Cactus Jacks and the Oklahoma Joes and stuff, and they're all coming in at like 4 digits worth of cost. And people out there going, yep, you got to start with something like this. I'm cooking on the Tepro Wichita today, and it's this teeny tiny yet completely reflective of the perfect shape of a smoker, tiny, super cheap smoker. This smoker's under 40 kilos when it's all put together, and so it's really light to move around, and you can pick it up with one arm if you're feeling like you need some exercise. So it's under 100 pounds, but the trade-off is the metal on it's really thin, so we're talking like 0.5 of a millimeter worth of thickness on this gear, which is fine, because the more fuel you need to burn, the more smoke you're creating, the deeper that flavour gets when it's inside the meat. I don't know, that's my hypothesis anyway. But you don't need an expensive smoker to make really nice, good barbecue. Oh, my fucking knees! Getting too old to record on my knees now. So we've relocated Grandad. He was getting a bit cold facing the other way, and the wind was getting in his firebox. So we've turned him around now.
It's still blowing the smoke this way.
It's still blowing the smoke in your face. Legend. Good old Grandad. So, 3 hours in and it's already dark enough to need a torch. Let's have a look and see how we're looking. Ooh, Christmas. Look at that. Yes, boy. Fires have been running a little bit hotter than I wanted them to, but at the same time.
It's good. How crispy the top is.
That's exactly what I wanted. I want this to render down. Mint. And good night. Right.
This is how this is going.
So, I didn't want to make a spritz, but I need a spritz. It's cooking too fast. So, I'm going to show you guys how we do this here in post-Brexit UK. Give you Yankee Doodles a run for your money. Get a little bit closer there, cameraman. Let's have a look. Bit closer, bit closer, bit closer. Partly I just need the light. Yeah, let's go. So this is my take on a vinegar pepper sauce because I didn't have vinegar or pepper. So this is Sriracha, apple cider, and Johnny Walker Black Label. Nice. That's how we do it in post-Brexit UK. So we've kind of reached a nice plateau. So it's no longer super windy, which is mint because it was windy as heck before. So I'm not having to fight to keep my fires on fire, which I'm thankful for. Still very cold though, so I'm running a hungry fire, but I'm still getting some use out of my teeny tiny splits that I split before. Now, compared to how I used to run my smoker, I'm having to add these every 5-10 minutes or something, so that's it. I'm sat here now, this is my night. I've got a lot of confidence that this is going to be nice. Well, it's come to a point now where I'm going to be finished fairly soon. I haven't had a look at this in about 2 or 3 hours, so I'm looking forward to see if it's ready. We've been in the kitchen baking bread and doing all the sides, so we're at a point where we're going to be finishing pretty soon, and I'm going to need to pull it and wrap it. So I'm just going to yank my probe in now, see how we're looking. Nice, nice. So where it's split here, all of this fat here, that's the sign that it's coming up to being done. Oh, that's the bone, that's hot. Ooh, look at that. Oh. Right, so I need a temperature of here. It's feeling pretty buttery, what we're saying. Normally I'd have pulled this earlier because this bark is overdone, but I want that. I want the biggest, chunkiest, gnarliest bark so I can mix it all together. Yeah. That's what I want to hear. Look at that. Wichita did a good job. Look at this. In fact, cameraman, if you want to come a little closer. Look at this. This is where the real money is. Look at that. Oh, there's some textures there, like. Right, let's get this wrapped. But we've got a really nice mix of like super soft, super tender, and like burnt ends. We'll mix this all together. Look, almost starting to come away. So when this reaches 200 Fahrenheit, we'll just pop it and it'll come straight off. And then as soon as it hits 200, 205, we'll pull it, we'll cool it down to 165, and that's where we'll keep it until lunch tomorrow. So, people keep buying me these for Christmas. It's very cute. I've got about 4 pairs of them now, but they're actually not very helpful. So, pulled pork, let's do this. Cameraman, do you want to come closer? So this has been sitting in the oven now. We started cooking this at 2 o'clock yesterday. It's 3 o'clock now. So let's see if it turned out tasty, tasty. Cool. So we're still got plenty of squish. Let's check the thermometer and see if it's cooked. The thermometer says it's cooked. Nice. Yeah, this has come out nice. Nice, nice. Hi-ya! God, it's so hot. Jesus.
Use the pulled pork things you've got specifically for this.
I've made my point, and god damn it, I'm gonna stick to it.
Useless, right?
Regardless of any evidence. Oh man, but look at this though. So this is like the burnt end from the burnt ends, and it's just turned into jelly. Look at that. Right, okay, quick taste test, and then we're gonna have dinner. You can make great barbecue on a teeny tiny smoker.
Yum yum.
Oh my god, a dog! Hello! Hi! Hiya, whose dog is this?
But that's Ant. Hey guys.
Sorry, I try not to just leave that in there.
Immensely.
Oh my god, a dog! I think you should keep that in the corner.
Right in the back of the shot as well, just like looking in through the dust.
Right, let's eat this. Let's stop playing with it and start eating it.
To the camera.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.